with Education today we have Sanju Soman, who is a UN Climate Youth Leader and CEO of SUSTERA Foundation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Deba.
Okay. Sir, can you please introduce yourself and share your background in the area of climate change and sustainability?
Sure. Thank you, Deba, for the question, and thank you, Education Today, for this opportunity. So, I head from a region called Adur in the district of Pathanamthitta in Kerala. Over the last 12 years, I've been working in the development sector. Started my career in the development sector with a small organization called Savor of Peace, Spread a Smile. It is a youth-led organization which primarily focused on solving the normal developmental challenges that the Trivandrum region faced. So, we had youngsters working together on environmental issues, health issues, economic issues, and several other important areas of development. Later on, after my graduation days, I went on to do a master's in climate change and sustainability studies from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Mumbai. And this was the time when I realized climate change is going to be a major threat the community and the whole world is going to face. And as I speak, it's quite hotter. It's just February and it's already quite hotter than how the last few Februaries have been in Kerala. And several regions as we speak now is facing crisis of water. And we commonly hear about waste management issues at all. So, climate change is this massive area which is related to our daily life, and due to human impacts, the world has been changing fastly, which is again contributing towards our own misery. And that's one reason why I've been working in this domain of climate change and sustainability. I've been fortunate enough to work with local government institutions, panchayat municipalities, municipal corporations on climate governance, have supported a lot of climate startups working on entrepreneurial solutions such as developing recycled material, developing hydrogen based engines, supporting startups that work on social enterprise solutions for climate change, and so on. Another important area that I have been working is to on the front of capacity building, because one of the major impacts of climate change is that of global warming. When the planet warms, it leads to massive disruption in how the ecology has to be, and this is causing frequent disasters and drastic variation in the weather pattern, which indirectly or directly is disrupting our lives. So, one of our major focus area has been to capacity build youngsters who are going to be the future in solving this massive crisis that humanity face.
Okay. So, what motivated you to go in this career, and what do you think is crucial to train youngsters to this career?
Sure. It happened that now I did my graduation in psychology, and after my +2 studies, I was like a lot of us, I was quite clueless on what to do. Like in general, our parents motivate us to be an engineer or doctor, but I wanted to do something different and was not sure whether this is the right path. But I found psychology quite an interesting subject. That's how I ended up in SN College, Chembarathi in Trivandrum, where I did my grads in psychology. But through my days in college, I realized that this is not an area I want to continue or take up my career in, even though it's a very interesting area. But somehow I started to read more while in college, started to go for conferences and events. Usually in college we go for conferences to just get attendance, but which is something that I did as well. But one of these conferences was on climate change, and at that point of time very few discussion was happening on this subject, and very few of us knew about this in detail. But during the conference, a lot of science was being told. It was a debate center on climate change, and a lot of scientists were showing graphs and data, etc. But most of it I didn't understand in the start. But there was this one question that was shot by one of the professors there. He asked the audience, do you know how much emissions burning of 1 liter of petrol or diesel costs? And the answer is 1.2 kilograms per liter of petrol. That is, if we take a scooter and pour 1 liter of petrol or diesel to be used for traveling 30 to 40 kilometers, which is its mileage, it emits around 1.2 kilograms of CO2. Imagine the amount of fuel that we all use. This made me really think, if we are pouring in this much of CO2, and that is one of the causal reasons for all the changes that might happen in future. This was a point where I sort of realized that it's important for youngsters to work in this area, and that's how I ended up doing a master's in climate change and sustainability studies, and that is my formal education in this area. But from there on, the journey has been quite interesting. I met some of the best minds working across the country, happened to do an internship in Ladakh, working with rural communities where they don't have energy, access to energy or even fuel, but were facing the brunt of climate change. Happened to travel across a few places in Rajasthan, again drought prone regions. Happened to also cycle from Mumbai to Bangalore via the Western Ghats, understanding the issues at the local level. Even my coursework and the rural fieldwork helped us a lot in understanding this issue. And one thing that we realized is that the impacts of climate change are going to affect everyone, especially the vulnerable community the more, considering that India is a growing economy, and even now millions of people go to bed hungry, or a major chunk of the people, a minority of the people doesn't have access to energy even now. Which means India is on a developing phase, and for us it is important that we build resilience to impacts of climate change, and that's how I got into this area. And the reason why we have been focusing on youth is that in the next few years, whatever India takes in terms of action is very crucial for governments across the country, I mean local governments across the country. Whenever a disaster occurs, it's the first responders are going to be the panchayats and the local community there, the local clubs there, the local school or teachers there. And if they don't have the capacity to adapt to these changes or help their community build resilience, it is going to really impact our communities. For example, in 2018, after the Kerala floods, most of the panchayats across the state were clueless on how to respond first, because they are seeing something of this scale for the first time. So that's where our role comes in as SUSTERA, in training the future leaders who can work on various areas of climate and help, on one side help build resilience, that is help in supporting the communities cope to these disasters or fast changes that is happening. At the same time also work on mitigation of the emissions, mitigation of the various problems that we cause. So because of which, one of our focus area at SUSTERA Foundation is also to help communities build capacity to future disasters. Yeah.
Okay. So what is exactly green jobs, and how does it differ from traditional jobs?
Green jobs or climate jobs are all kinds of jobs which focuses on restoration efforts, conservation efforts, efforts towards mitigation of global warming, efforts being done towards building resilience, and all sorts of jobs that are related to environment and climate. Now I'll give you some simple examples. We all know about putting up solar panels, renewable energy, etc. All jobs which come under production of renewable energy, which is production of energy from solar panels, or management of energy from that is produced from solar panels, or management of wind energy, all of those are examples of technical aspects of various green jobs. Similarly, we also have a lot of jobs now being created in the electric vehicle sector. For example, we have massive number of electric vehicles that are coming to the roads. In a way, it is helping us limit the amount of carbon dioxide and other gases that come out from vehicles. So all jobs related to electric vehicles, electric charging stations are green jobs. Similarly, there are also jobs being made in waste management sector, because
yes.
we all create a lot
Plastic,
of waste. Now there has to be people working on segregation, collecting of waste,
Yes.
IT solutions in collecting of waste, managing, counting the amount of waste, putting a data management software for collection of the waste, the processing of the waste, because we produce multiple types of products as waste. We have plastics, we have metal, we have different components that come from e-waste, we have organic waste that comes in, we have waste like hospital waste. So all these different types of waste are getting managed in different ways. So there is immense amount of work being done in management of various kinds of these waste, because of which so much more jobs are being created in this sector. It has been expected that by 2025 India is going to create more than 3.7 million green jobs. So waste management is another sector. Now another set of jobs is every state government now hire experts who work on disaster management and disaster preparedness. For example, we have analysts who work on understanding the wind patterns, the rainfall patterns, and also letting the masses know if there is a cyclone coming. For example, in Kerala we know there is when it starts to rain, there is a red alert or yellow alert or green alert, right? All these are being done by experts who are working in the field of disaster preparedness. Then we have people who need to be working on eco restoration, that is planting more trees, restoring of forest land, restoring of our wetlands, because wetlands, for example, help us mitigate floods by acting as sponge. They absorb water. Similarly, they also help in water retention. We need people working on governance, that is experts who can work on planning future cities, that too sustainably. We need people who work on green infrastructure, that is resilient infrastructure. Now that we know the temperature is going to rise every year, we need buildings that can take out the heat or extract the heat without the need for air conditioners. So sustainable building, sustainable architecture, these also come under green jobs. Similarly, there is also work in agriculture that is being done, sustainable agriculture, agroforestry, all of these are also similar jobs that come in the green job sector. Then even in health, resilient hospitals, building resilient hospitals, working on public health, and connecting that with climate change issues as well. So all of these come under a wider perspective of green jobs.
Could you provide some examples of specific green jobs that is currently in demand in India?
Okay, one of the biggest demand currently at this point is in the renewable energy sector. There is more need for technicians who can work on renewable energy sector, people who are there in public infrastructure of setting charging stations. We don't have enough technicians who can do that. In production of electric vehicles, for example, battery pack architects or people working on. As of now, India hasn't started production of batteries like other countries like China. So once we start doing that, we are going to need massive workforce who can work in these areas. Similarly, we are adopting solar at a very fast rate. And the government is also, both the state and the central government is pushing for policies for adopting of solar energy at a faster rate. So we need technicians who can install it, who can clean it, who can set up data systems for the same, understanding the data, similarly getting it transmitted through the grid. So there is so much jobs created there as well. These are among the larger areas as of now, but as we go ahead, there are more interesting areas of work. For example, community resilience, helping a local community to adapt to the changes, helping city people to change their lifestyles. That is some behavioral related green jobs that are being created as well. Similarly, there are researchers who are working. For example, a lot of policy researchers work with us on understanding and helping governments create new policy in this area. So there is a lot of economics related jobs being created in policy or economics aspect of climate change and sustainability. Similarly, there are project managers and ESG professionals. ESG professionals work with the corporate companies to help companies understand their impact on the environment and also help them limit their emissions. Just to give a few examples, if you buy a chocolate, now the chocolate comes through various life processes. Someone collects the cocoa, it travels from one place to the other, and then it gets packed, and then it reaches you, and then even the plastic wrapper after consumption of the chocolate has to go somewhere. In the whole process, there is a lot of sustainability aspects involved. We need to ensure that the chocolate is sustainably sourced. We need to ensure that the chocolate consumed and the associated emissions, for example, energy emissions is less, and the plastic wrapper doesn't go to is being processed in the right way. So a lot of jobs have been created even there among the corporate sector as well.
So how do green jobs contribute to environmental sustainability and combat climate change?
Globally, governments across the world are pushing to mitigate emissions, limit global warming, etc. But we can't achieve the targets that the world is setting if we don't have enough trained experts to work in this domain or area, because of which we need to create more skilled professionals in this area, for which more skill sets has to be trained. More education institutions need to start training for such specific skills. Now, how is it going to impact on the economy and the environment is that if we have more trained professionals, and if we have more trained professionals who are humane in nature and who understands the problem and want to be part of the solution, it can really push our ambitions of building resilience and also mitigation climate change at a very fast rate. Now, just to give you a couple of examples, we all consume meat. Now, and in India the meat consumption has been going up. We all consume dairy as well, but the dairy industry and the meat industry is one of the biggest emitters in food sector in terms of the emission it causes, especially the methane emission it causes. We can't ask people to stop eating meat or consuming milk, because it forms a major part of their dietary pattern, especially protein demand also. A lot of people are dependent on just eggs, for the matter that that's their primary source of protein. So, but the other solution is that youngsters can come out with plant-based protein which tastes like meat, as a mock meat, which comes as an example of something that can be circulated and at a very low cost, or something that can help people move from consuming large scale meat and milk to other sources of sustainable sources of milk or meat. Similarly, this can drastically reduce the methane emissions. Similarly, if we have more engineers who can work on energy efficiency. Now, we all know that at a point of time we use the 60-watt bulb, and then we move to CFL, which is 15 watts, and now to LED, which is of 6 watts. So much innovation that has happened that has helped us reduce the energy consumption or the energy demand. So we need engineers and innovators working on that aspect. Similarly, we need innovators who can help our farmers adapt to the fast changes of drought or floods that happen. So new innovations that can, especially India, the best thing about India is we use a lot of jugaad, which is frugal innovation. And if our youngsters are trained and they're actually paid to do it as jobs, or they're skilled to do this and understand these concepts, it can really support our communities in future, because the next 10 years whatever we do is crucial for the people and the whole ecosystem. So by skilling up more youngsters in the sector of green jobs, it can drastically build resilience to our communities. It can help achieve our energy targets in terms of mitigation of energy emissions, and also in building resilience.
So, as a young person interested in green career, what steps can one take to enter into this?
Okay. Currently, as we speak, millions of youngsters are looking out for jobs. We keep hearing news of young minds struggling to find jobs. A lot of them trying to apply for government jobs, waiting for government jobs and getting their response. But one thing that we have to realize, those who are watching this need to realize, is that there are thousands of jobs being created in the sector, because it is of quite importance to not just as individuals us, but also for governments to act fast, because of which there is massive investment being pumped into various sectors related to climate, environment and so, which means there is a possibility of creating green jobs. At the same time, you also get the happiness of doing something back to the society. You are contributing whatever you do now, be it at any level. If you part of a climate job, you are contributing to the larger, better future. Now, how can you enter? As of now, the number of courses related to climate or sustainability specifically is quite less. Not many colleges are offering courses in the area of climate change or sustainability specifically, but there are a few. Just to say, the Terry Institute in Delhi, Terry University, the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Asim Premji University has certain courses, master's level courses in the same. In Kerala as well, the Agriculture University has a couple of courses related to climate, environment, etc. But be it any sector that you are in, be it you have passed engineering, you have done a bachelor's in economics, you have done a bachelor's in physics or chemistry, or be it you have done even for that matter psychology, you can always move and find opportunities in the sustainability or green or climate jobs. How can you do that is, one, start to read about it, start to just googling about climate change, understand about it, try to understand how it is impacting you. For example, if you live in a hilly region, try to understand how climate has been changing over the last couple of years, or the same way try to understand from your ancestors what is the changes that have happened over the past, what are the problems like in regard to water etc. that you face, how is your waste being managed etc. These are small things that you can try to understand from your own surroundings. The next step that you can do is start to travel a bit and understand how these problems are look like in other regions of the country. How do they manage? So, for example, if you live in Wayanad, can you come down to Trivandrum and see how waste management is done here, how pollution is managed here, or vice versa, right? Now, I am not saying if as you travel here and it might be waste would be managed better, probably Wayanad is doing better job, but at the same time here being a city, there are more waste being created and management becomes a tough task as well. So, one thing is to understand the issue to yourself, try to relate it to how it affects your lifestyle, how it's related to your own life. Just to give an example, we human beings are directly dependent on nature and its ecosystem services. All such services, even for that matter oxygen or the pollination that bees does or the water we consume etc., all of these are related to our human relation to environment and us, right. So, understanding that is important. Now, the next step would certainly be to relate your current passion or your current degree to what you can do in the environment sector. For example, I did a graduation in psychology and then went to do a master's in climate change. Both are different areas, but this is what I thought in the start. But now when I look back, these are areas which are quite closely attached, because in a way it is us humans who are polluting the environment more, right. It is us humans and our behavior and our thoughts that is impacting the environment more. So, understanding psychology is important if you have to solve a crisis like climate change. It's understanding human behavior makes a lot of sense when you work in the same area of climate change. So, now I am able to build a connection between what I did. At the same time, you can try to figure out how the current interest and passion connects with various jobs in the climate sector. As I have mentioned before, there are multiple sectors in which you can find green jobs. Understanding them and then trying to do internships can be a great way to start your career in the green job sector. Just to give a few examples, one of my friend who was doing agriculture and started to work in a bank as a bank manager, later on moved to the sustainability sector and now is working as an ESG professional. But all the experiences of managing a bank and also as working in the education in the agriculture has helped them to work now in helping corporates reduce their impacts on the environment. Similarly, another friend who worked on developing hydrogen boat engines, now who was an engineer who did it as a college project, now is working in the hydrogen economy sector, which is creating a lot of jobs. Similarly, another young professional whom I know did their masters in economics and now is working as analyst on understanding the global changes that happen and the climate finance, the financing that comes for climate change and so on. My partner who did architecture and then went on to do a masters in planning and then went on to do masters in hydrology, now works on water sector, trying to understand how cities can develop their water systems and so on. So with some extra effort, with some reading, doing free courses that are online for climate change, especially because of the fact that it's a very major issue, there are thousands of free courses that you can apply. Even the UN, United Nations and even major development organizations provide free courses. Some of the international universities also provide free courses on climate change, so you can do some of them. You can attend free workshops that happen in your area. You can go for conferences, like for me that randomly going for that conference helped me get into the sector. So you could attend some conferences. You could watch YouTube videos, for example TED. TED has some brilliant videos on climate change. Just Google climate change and you will find amazing videos. So there are and most importantly, traveling really helped me. The other big thing that helped me to get into the sector was internships. Now internships is something that you can do for free, but at the same time you get to learn a lot. So you might not get paid, but that's fine. If you are doing internships with various developmental or energy or various job sectors in climate or environment, that can really help you start a career in the sector. Just to give a quick thought, I mean, if you want to work on energy after your engineering in mechanical engineering, you can still try and apply for an internship there. You can at least start to understand what renewable energy means. If you have done your agriculture, bachelor's in agriculture and want to work on research in climate resilient agriculture, you can apply to some organization that work on research in climate resilient agriculture. So there are so many of these opportunities, but one main thing is use these free resources to do the same.
Sir, I work in an educational sector. So how do you think we can contribute or how we can work in an green sector or climate sector in educational firm?
One of the things as an educational institution that you can do is certainly to start inculcating sustainability and climate into your current curriculum, be it whatever area that you teach on. I know that you have various subjects and various courses, but providing some connection to environment and climate change, or even in the form of case studies for the project work that is given to students, can it be related to climate change? This can be a start for your organization to make them think about climate related or sustainability related issues. Another thing that you can do is host online webinars for students by calling international and national experts who can come and talk about how this is related to all our lives and how various jobs can be created in the sector, how can after the various courses that they come do from your institution, how they can convert that into jobs in the green job sector or sustainability sector. Such conferences or mini webinars can be hosted online, which can help them really start this career. And at the same time, I also believe that it's important that if possible, your institution start courses specifically on energy or economics related to climate change, or small PGDMs that can really help them get jobs in the sector. The Green Job Council is doing a lot of work across India, but they themselves are not able to cater to the large number of youngsters. So probably institutions like yours can play an important role.
Okay. So a message to the young aspiring youth, what will you say?
Sure. So guys, climate change is a threat that we are all facing. As I said in the start, right now, this month, February, is very hot. Last couple of years, we have seen frequent floods. We have been hearing news about forest fires becoming frequent. Similarly, agriculture is being affected because of climate change. it is impacting our lifestyle in all sense, especially someone, we are living near the equator, which means as the temperature rises, we are going to be impacted the most. So as youngsters, as the future generation, you have a big role to do in terms of protecting our own world. At the same time, what if you could convert this potential of contributing towards the society and the well-being of the planet into jobs, something that you can make money off, as in to sustain yourself, be part of the solution, make a living out of it, and at the same time be happy and proud that you have done something for your future generation. So there are millions of jobs out there in this sector. I really urge you to start to volunteer for various initiatives in your local region with local organizations, working on climate, working on waste management, working on marine litter, working on water related problems, etc. So that can be a start. Then also start to read, Google climate change, global warming, sustainability, or just put these keywords and you can find millions of resources. Read them, be it in any language, there are multiple resources, so read them. Go for capacity building workshops that are hosted, go for conferences, try to understand this and start your career in this sector. I can assure you that you can find a stable career, at the same time help planet Earth. Thank you.